Hey guys, Morgan Khan here. Welcome back to the channel. So, after a long hiatus and some soul searching, you could say, I have wanted to make a return. With this return, keep it light, keep it short, sweet for the most part. Not so sweet on the fact of what Sony has done to one of my childhood memories, and that being Ratchet and Clank. So, Ratchet and Clank, produced and made by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment of the United States, they have essentially butchered this game. Now, I did some Googling, which everybody can do, and that Googling that would be, okay, why is Ratchet and Clank so big, and why have they fallen so far? To keep it short and sweet, as if, you know, I could have a public exchange with you vicariously through YouTube mediums, it would essentially to say that, you know, Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot, Metal Gear Solid, other various PlayStation heavy hitters like Jak and Daxter, they have all fallen off their game for the most part. I think it was this month, I believe, I had just seen another YouTube video saying that Sly Cooper would be coming back to the PS4, PS5 through PlayStation Plus. I don't subscribe to PlayStation Plus because it just doesn't have the benefits, in my opinion, and it's better to just buy the game that you want to play because that's the market that Sony has capitalized on. So with that being said, the heavy hitters that used to be everyday, like our childhoods, I'm 27, so my childhood growing up with my older brother Ethan, God bless his soul, that we grew up with, like Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, right? The list goes on for the most part, but I want to say it was Crash Bandicoot has, I believe, 17 games. Ratchet and Clank has 18 games. Now, for Crash Bandicoot, this is not to include the amount of mobile games and spin-offs that Crash Bandicoot had. Now, Ratchet and Clank has a lot of main heavy hit titles, and I don't think that the 18 includes his PSP, Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, or I believe Secret Agent Clank. I don't think those are included, but I would have to see the list that I had taken a look at in order for me to have a better assessment. But by the numbers, right, by and large, we see that Ratchet and Clank has went from essentially being an a-hole Lombax creature that did not care much about Clank initially when they met, and this is talked about numerous times all over YouTube in various videos, that Ratchet had a freaking personality. He was rootin' tootin', you know, spaceship mechanic, and a damn good one, and he didn't care about Clank's existence and was going to scrap him at first. And then, obviously, I'm not going to go over the whole story of Ratchet and Clank here, but what I'm getting at is, what the heck is the problem with, if I want to fire up my PlayStation 4 on my day off, and yeah, sure, call me a complainer, but this is just an opinion, right? Just an opinion, is that I don't believe that Ratchet and Clank should be treated as the way that they have been. If I want to turn my PS4 on my day off and play the original Ratchet and Clank from PlayStation 2 on a PS4, I should be able to do so, because it's like, that's one of their mascots, is it not? So I digress in that manner because it can go so far with that statement being said. But the main thing of what I'm getting at is, you can't play Sly Cooper all of the games, you know, from start to finish, or Jak and Daxter or Crash Bandicoot in their native game, like the native design of which they were released in, instead of these remasters and remakes and blah blah blah. Like, if you just want to take it back, dial it back, and you want to play a classic version, you should be able to do so. Even if I'm not a big fan of their streaming service, you should be able to buy these games, download them to your console, without there being microtransactions involved, or micro this and micro that, and DLC this and DLC that. It's like arcades of the 70s and 80s, but on like drugs. It's terrible. They want you to do the microtransactions, of course, but it's like, if you want to make money, like, is it that hard for them to grasp their head at, you know, the big wigs, the elites that run Sony and the gaming industries, for them to be like, you know, we're going to actually put out a high quality game, or encourage people that take care of these intellectual properties to provide these classic games? Because I grew up playing Ratchet and Clank, and I felt like I could relate to him, because it's like, you do a job, right? Mundane job. And Ratchet and Clank, well, Ratchet, he had the job that I wanted as a little kid, working on spaceships. You know, I'm not going to divulge too much, but I work on airplanes for the most part. And it struck a note with me, because I always wanted to go to space, always wanted to work on airplanes. And then now Ratchet is kind of like this spokesman for being nice, and like just the way they did him in 2016. I don't want to get this cancel culture movement like on my back and all this crap, but 2016 Ratchet and Clank was not it. And this, I don't feel the desire to go and buy a PlayStation 5 for the new Ratchet and Clank, because that's not it. That's not Ratchet and Clank. That's something else. It's like they're trying to segue into this like something else. And everybody that understands that like gut feeling that we get with what we see, that's the problem. Is like, it's not us as gamers when they're pointing the finger and saying, you're not liking what we put out. Like, it's games that are made for gamers by the gamers that love these games. But it's not anymore. Look at Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's formula has succeeded because they haven't broke that cycle. And hear me out. Replace Tomb Raider with another person, let's say, that it wouldn't succeed. That's why there's the Uncharted series. Or replace or try to remake Assassin's Creed 2 that has Ezio with somebody else. Imagine Katarina Sforza being the main character of Assassin's Creed 2. That it just wouldn't fly. Or replacing Mario with Peach. The list could go on. I don't understand, and I don't see why they have done Ratchet and Clank like this, or Jak and Daxter. It doesn't make any sense. Crash Bandicoot barely hanging on by a string. And what are they going to do? Attack my boy Mario next? It seems like Mario's barely in the game either. And quite frankly, it's a load of crap. It's BS. That I can't play those games and just chill. You know, you gotta break out a PS2, you gotta freaking go buy all the games, the controllers, the memory cards. And don't get me wrong, there is a sense of nostalgia and enjoyment from that. You can go get a wireless controller, the crazy, you know, bombastic flavors of controllers that existed back then. I had like a wireless SpongeBob controller for PS2 at one point, and like a crazy like LED lit up Spider-Man controller, and it was like super crazy. And like, dude, it was awesome. But we don't see that anymore, because everything's like limited edition, or like, you know, deluxe, premium, get it while it's hot, and then it's gone the next freaking day type crap. And then price gouging. Like, look what happened with the price of the PS5, the dropping of it, the way it's been handled, this new PlayStation Now crap. It's just nails on a chalkboard to me as a gamer. And like, it doesn't make any freaking sense. Halo Infinite's Forge, the campaign, the co-op. And to stay on topic with Ratchet and Clank is, where is Ratchet? Where is he? He's not in those games. 2016 and this Rift Apart, or whatever the heck that crap is, I don't know. And I don't want no part of it. I'll probably get my hands on it later down the road just to say I've played that one as well. But it's not something that I'm eagerly seeking out. I don't seek it out because I just don't get that same feeling of mystery, suspense, action, thrill, adventure, exploration that I see with the gameplay from Rift Apart. It just seems like somebody got their hands on it because they were upset about something. Like, that's what I'm getting from it. Like, they were upset. And if I'm misperceiving that and it comes off as I became unhinged, it's just like, how would other people feel if I took their childhood memories, or what they consider to be a very wholesome product for the time being, or insert whatever they enjoyed and turned it upside down. You build a sandcastle, you want me to come and kick your sandcastle? It's bullying. This is indirect, passive-aggressive bullying on people that enjoy these games. And the same thing goes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla on that topic of bullying. Them dropping microtransactions a month after the game's release, that is some very shady, crappy stuff. And I have yet to complete all the side missions. I finished the main story and it was drudgingly long, longer than what it should have been, because they couldn't just get to the freaking point. They made you do all of this like traveling because it seemed like people wanted their opinions and voices heard, but at the cost of the story, the campaign, the substance, the plot, the characters, the relationship that you build with these people. Because, for instance, I understand Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, they were all three separate games in their own respect. Because if they were released in today's times, it would be microtransaction laden and heavy and, just all bogged down. Obviously, that aside, they would all three be broken down into DLCs most likely. Because look at Valhalla. Those essentially could have been standalone games. Ragnarok, Dawn of Ragnarok, I haven't played Dawn of Ragnarok, but it looks like a standalone game. But it's DLC. The same thing with, what was it? When they did this with Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Freedom Cry. Love Adewale. He was a freaking awesome character to play as. He should have had an expanded, like, standalone game, is what I'm saying. Valhalla, saturated, as wide as an ocean and as shallow as a pond. Vast, open, expansive world with no depth. There's nothing there. NPCs, they're one-offs. I can't even tell you any of the side missions in that game. I honestly couldn't right now, offhand. There's nothing that stands out to me. But the characters, the interactions, and the story, and everything that went into Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, you see Ezio grow up from birth to death, literally, living out his life, saving the assassins, the whole Brotherhood, trying to fight for the freedom and free will and free thought of the common folk of that era. It was different. Eivor, I don't know who Eivor is, because they're not distinct. They're saying, oh, well, the blood on the shield and the axe found at the gravesite could say he was this or that due to chromosomes. Like, then they're just exaggerating on the story. There has never been evidence or remains found of any archaeological dig site that said, we don't know what the gender is. You can tell by the skull. You can tell by the teeth. You can tell by the feet, the bone structure. It's in the DNA. You cannot argue with nature. And when you do, you just create this convoluted, like, mess. So the same thing with arguing with the DNA and the nature of Ratchet and Clank to bring this full circle. And this is not to make it a TED Talk. And to me, I could go on for a lot longer. But what I'm getting at, moreover, like I said, bringing it full circle is, where is Ratchet and Clank? Because they're not in Rift Apart. They're not in the 2016 version. The movie was decent at best for a child. I would show my son that movie, and he liked it, but it's not the same flavor, and it doesn't have the same pizzazz as the original Ratchet and Clank. And that's what the issue is you can't play those games. You got to break out a PlayStation 3 to buy them digitally. Like, people want to keep their shelves decluttered. And sure, there's a bunch of streamers, there's a bunch of people that have their shelf with every console, and it's all set up nice and neat. Some people don't have that luxury. I don't want to have all this stuff laying around all the time. So it's like, if I want to put up my PlayStation 3, or if I want to just use the PlayStation 3, then it's like, oh, okay, now you got to go play God of War on the PS4, blah, blah, blah. It's strange to me, by the numbers, Metal Gear, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, shoot, there was another one, but these heavy-hitting PlayStation titles, they're not getting the treatment. Like, who's the mascot of PlayStation? Nintendo has Mario. Xbox has the Master Chief and literally the Doomslayer now, and Dovahkiin. There's numerous mascots that are like carrying the dead weight of PlayStation for Xbox. And a lot of people are saying Xbox is the winner. You know, computers have Valve, Steam, Gary's Mod, Half-Life, freaking Minecraft. Like, there's a plethora of PC mascots that are part of the PC master race. But I don't see this with PlayStation. It's literally just cosmetics, aesthetics, just the experience that they're perceivably experiencing. This isn't gaming at its final form of how it was chalked up to be, whereas Xbox is evolving like a Super Saiyan over time, where they're just like, more power, more power, more power. Like, it's insane. I honestly can't believe the state of PlayStation, the state of Ratchet and Clank. Where's those other old school heavy hitters at? Everybody's like, what is up with Toy Story 3 and this like race car game or something that came out on PlayStation Plus, and then you have to pay the $120 to even be eligible to like access other games to play like their Game Pass service. I just don't want to justify spending that kind of money on a service where as a gamer you're getting nothing. You get nothing out of it. So I just want to leave my viewers with this, that I would say boycott PlayStation. What's the solution? Boycott Sony. Like, what, play Spider-Man on PC then? Don't buy Ragnarok. Or, yeah, God of War Ragnarok. I would say just wait and wait, because I don't think it's acceptable to be treated like this as a gamer when we give them money hand over fist for years. Nearly, what, 25, 26 years? Well, actually, no. Since 1995 when the PlayStation came out, so 27 years, people have been throwing money at Sony left and right. What started off as a small audio processor and audio system company, and moving into TVs and selling deals to Nintendo for their high-quality audio chips, and then, you know, not wanting to make a deal with Nintendo taking point and what's gone on, and now they have their own console, and they're touting to be this mature console like Sega Genesis used to be. Like, oh, Sega Genesis so mature over Nintendo, and now Sony's mature, and it's for grown-ups, and we have all these amazing JRPGs. Americans don't want just JRPGs. They want options. They want capitalistic freedom of movement and freedom of choice, or the perceivable freedom of choice. So give them that. Give them a show. And if Sony asks, are you not entertained? No, Sony, I'm not entertained, and I don't think that a lot of people are. I was scouring and flipping through pages of YouTube earlier. This is absurd. A lot of people share my same sentiments. And it's, quite frankly, it's very sad. It's sad for Sony to be in this state and condition of what they're doing. So, like I said, solution, leave Sony alone. Use what we got. You know, PS2s, PS3s, and the early days of PS4. Cherish them as we have, but I think PS5 and their clout chasing. Oh, the stocks are limited. Get it while you can. That's clout chasing. Because what's the PS5 going to do? Make me a sandwich? See these ridiculous ass videos about, oh, would you have these really two pretty girls or PS5? Would you rather, you know, do these things with this girl or have a PS5? And all these guys are picking PS5s. Like, the PS5 is not even that good. The new Xbox is statistically better. And at that, you can build a PC. Just build a PC, man. So, yeah, solution. Stop giving Sony money for no reason. Because they're not giving me a reason. And that's just my opinion. But 20 minutes of me talking about Sony. That's all they're going to get out of me, because I'm not going to throw them money. I'm going to enjoy the games that I have. And I'm just going to play them until they mean nothing. Because I'm getting more out of my Xbox. I turn my Xbox on every day. Do I turn my PlayStation on every day? No, I do not. I turn it on to play God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, and, well, if they had an Order 1886 sequel, or the Order 1887, right, as it should have been called, I would play that. but that's really about it. So thanks for coming to the channel. I appreciate it. If you got anything to say about the status of PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, what happened with Halo or Assassin's Creed or Ratchet and Clank or any of your favorite titles and where they have degenerated into, please put it in the comments section. Like this video. Obviously, shameless plug moment, but like I said, subscribe, man. I gotta grow the channel somehow. Share this video with any other gamers that may want to hear talking points or debatable content for gaming culture. I'm not a big streamer. I'm more classic. I've been in the YouTube game for 15 years. I don't grind it out all the time, but I sit back, I watch, I listen, I see all the good, the bad, and the ugly. So with that being said, I'm Morgan Khan, and this has been the Morgan Khan Show. Peace.